Hi everyone. If you hear a noise other than the ones I usually mention, um, the neighbor is having, well, I used to call them the hippies, but I guess now it's just the hippie. That seems kind of sad. Um, because her husband died. But she's got this, what do you call those things? Those pickup trucks with shovels on the front. So there's one of those going up and down her driveway right now. So just in case you hear that. But anyways, so some cat updates. I love waking up to my fan club. I can't stop talking about them. Um, it's the boys, not Xena. Um, although she's kind of a part of it. So it's just nice waking up to cats instead of alarms. Even if it is fucking annoying. Like Phil, he's getting worse. I think I said that last time, but this time, like, he's getting worse with like waking me the fuck up. Um, because he wants his medleys. Like, what have I done? I have created a monster. He's like, I know this bitch gives me medleys in the morning. Like, get up. I want my medley. Um, those fancy feast things. So yeah, it's just like I don't know like what game we're playing. He's going after shit on the wall like above where I sleep. Like I cuz there's shit on the walls everywhere. Clanking like I've got a skeleton above where I sleep that clinks when like the fan hits it. There's like paintings and stuff. This just shit that he likes to play with. It all of a sudden it's his most interest like he that's the thing that's most interesting to him in the morning. Well, my morning, which is still usually morning. It's like 10:30. Um, but like why that time? You like don't like these objects any other time. So it's like, can you not just like go back to what you did when you were a little kitten, a little baby, and you would come to me and you would manipulate me? Like he would crawl on me and mush his head into my like forehead and purr and like, oh, I loved him when he was so tiny. I was like, you don't have to manipulate me for food. I'll get it for you. But that was like his signal whenever he was hungry. And now it's just, let's skip all of that and I'm gonna annoy you? Like, what the fuck? So, I don't know. I'm hoping that this is just a little phase he grows out of because it's interesting to watch kittens grow and you see them like, is this what I don't I mean, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but like, is this what parents feel about like their kids when their kids are getting older and like, oh, look at this milestone. Oh, look at that milestone. Oh, look at them like learning about themselves. And so like that's how I feel about Apollo and Phil. Like, oh, look at them getting bigger, older, their brains are expanding and they're trying out different things. But I don't like that fucking thing that Phil's trying out. Like, I don't know if what's worse, that or like those needles he has on his tongue and he would scrape my forehead like, bitch, get up. I want my medley. And he would it's just his needles on his tongue are the worst. It's like scraping layers of skin off my face and he was doing that for a while and then he just switched to this bullshit. But anyways, so like while he's doing that, in making Caesar look like an angel because Caesar used to be annoying, like trying to wake me up, but uh that shit's not half as bad anymore. So Caesar's like trouncing around on me too, just making sure that he stays away from Phil. It's weird. Like Phil chooses to be around the kittens, but I guess that's not weird. He chooses to be around them, but if they come close to him, if they touch him, he has this stinky face where he just hisses and he's like, "Get away from me, you fucker." So I'm like, man, you love me so much that you're willing to put yourself in this like emotional roller coaster of like, let me wake you up, let me wake you up, but also don't fucking touch me, cats, don't touch me. But anyways, so I got Phil crawling over me and me pushing him back down and him crawling over me to get the shit up on the wall and me pushing him back down and I'm like, "Can't you let me sleep?" And then Caesar's off to the side. Like his new thing is like, "Let me just stand with my butt in her face." Like, motherfucker, I am not an animal. Like, not that kind. I'm not a cat. I don't Humans don't do that. Well, I guess there are humans that do butt stuff, but no, leave your butt out of my face. And I wish he understood English because that's not how I communicate. Like Apollo still does that too, and I'm like, how can I get these cats to understand that I don't want their butts? Windows open, but nobody should be outside listening. Um, where was I going with that story? Oh, so yeah. So we got Phil doing his thing. You got Caesar just like, he'll jump up on my stomach, jump down, jump up on my stomach, jump down, just then stand with the butt in my face. And like I have to constantly push his butt away. And then like while this is going on, Apollo, my baby, he is off to the side just watching it, just laying down. If he could get popcorn, he probably would. And he's just like watching them. And I'm like, did you do this? Like, did you put them to work and like make it their job to wake me up so that like y'all can have breakfast? And I'm like, if you managed to get them to do this, congratulations, sir. Congratulations. But anyways, so and by the way, I talked about Apollo like snatching like dum-dums off of my table thingy in my room and playing with them. Well, now he's giving me my own dum-dums as presents. You know the thing where like, you know, where cats like outdoor cats or I don't know, I guess they don't have to be outdoor, but they're outdoor. And like, if you find like a dead mouse outside like your front door or somewhere by your house, like that's a gift from the cat to you. That's their way of saying, "Hey, I love you." And you know what? Whether that's true or not, that is what I've believed all these years. And so, like, I had like this one cat that just did nothing but bring me dead mice. So maybe it wasn't so much like presents as much as it was just like, let me kill all the fucking mice. And like I had heard somewhere that you're not supposed to throw away their gift in front of them because that'll hurt their feelings. So I had to wait for that fucking cat to like go away into another room away from the window so she wouldn't see me check all the mice over to the neighbor's yard. But that I was in my 20s. That was like a long time ago. Where am I going with this? But anyways, so I guess for indoor cats, their gifts are whatever they can find. And he's given me my own dum-dums. So Um, he puts them in my chair, like places where I occupy, the most space, take up I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much for giving me my dum dum. In case anybody needed to hear that story. And so did some decorating on the inside, put up the Christmas decorations. I did something new and put up two Christmas trees when usually it's just one. Which one is fine. Um, but every time we have like kittens and it's their first Christmas, oh, it's just like it used to be annoying when I was younger, and then I got older and I learned have patience and, like my perspective's changed and like I don't mind so much when the cats fuck with like Christmas decorations. There's been years where like I would get the cats their own tree and put like little cat toys on it so they can bat those around, try to get them off the tree. So every cat that has had its first Christmas has been obsessed with a Christmas tree, jumping on the branches, trying to climb up it, like all of that. These two kittens, Phil and Apollo, couldn't be fucking bothered. Like, I've got Christmas music on. And this was like Thursday night after we had our Thanksgiving here. Alicia went to stay and pet sit next door overnight. I was having a little party here with Christmas music and the cats and decorating indoors. And the kittens are like, yeah, cool, you're decorating. They didn't try to fuck with the tree. It's been like, what's today, Tuesday? And it's been like 4 or 5 days or something. And like, there's only one ornament that has come off the tree. Just one thing, one little thing. Like all the branches are intact. Like we used to have trees with gaping holes because like one of the cats like they would like we had one cat, Hades. God, he did this shit until he was like 10, 11. He was a fat fucking cat. He would just try to climb up on the tree and then break one of the branches. Like there was no fixing it. It just was like it just hung, just fucked up Charlie Brown trees over the years. But, whatever. You love your pets, you make do. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So these guys don't care. It's weird. It's weird. Like I imagine myself being like this tiny little thing, like this tiny, barely been alive for a year creature where everything else is taller. And this one tree that we have it's fairly new. We got it like a couple years ago. It's like the tallest tree I've ever had. It's the most mature adult Christmas tree I've ever had. We don't do real trees because I don't want that shit in the house. Um, I like my fake stuff. And uh so if I were them, I'd be like, "Oh my God, what the fuck is this thing? What is this? This huge tree. I'm so scared." They don't give a shit. Like they were fucking like cuddled up together on the chair, just like sleeping together while all this noise was going on around them while I was walking past back and forth, and their ears were perked, so they heard what was going on, and they just couldn't be bothered, and the trees don't bother them. They don't want to, no interest. I'm like, what the fuck? I used to get so annoyed. I always wanted cats that would just leave the shit alone. And now I got them, and I'm like, hey, this ain't normal. You're supposed to fuck with stuff. Because, like, when I put the decorations up on the tree, those little hook things, I have to wrap them around the branch. Like, I can't just put it, like, on the tree. Excuse me. You have to, like, wrap the hook around so that if the cat's bad at the tree, at least you have a better chance of the decorations staying in place. Put it on. I need to have some water. Um, hopefully you didn't hear that. Okay, but anyways, oh my God, I probably spent a long time, at least 10 minutes on cats. Oh, 14. Oh my God. Okay, so anyways, we did not have Bella this past weekend because we had a snowstorm. So we're getting her this weekend, and we're getting her for an extra day. Alicia's picking her up a day early, and she's staying for 3 nights, which that's gonna be new. And like I talked about that. I didn't realize it would happen so quickly, but that's the longest I've ever had a kid around. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, so we got several inches of snow overnight. And I just got on here in case anybody needs to hear, like, I don't know, if you have like problems with, not problems, I don't know, whatever your relationship with fucking snow and cold is, maybe, this some of this is relatable, but so I was thinking, like I wake up, right, to what are they called? Um things that blow snow. Oh, snow blowers. And that's the sound that I heard when I woke up. And basically, like, oh my God, let me back up. So growing up, um, I grew up, the majority of my childhood was in Japan, and it snowed. It snowed there, like, a lot. And like, I'd be put to work shoveling, and I hated it. I hated shoveling, and you had to keep going out and doing it. I was like, this fucking sucks. Even with like snow blowers, it's just like I was never allowed to use that. My brother was though, and he's a year and a half younger than me, so go figure that. Um, so anyways, maybe that's why I hate shoveling. I don't know. Or I hated it when I was growing up, but I hated mowing and yard work, so I was lazy. But anyways, so years of having to deal with that shit every winter. And then I leave home and I'm stationed in England all 5 years that I was in the military. And I loved wintertime because there was like no snow. It didn't get that cold, at least compared to like Japan. Like, I loved winters in England. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Um, like one time, I think there was like half an inch maybe. And uh like I had to come and work early or something like that because I worked in like the center part of the base, the command post, and we would just get these alerts like, okay, schools are closing, this business is closing off base, and da 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 da, because of like a half inch of snow, barely, barely. I'm like, what? I'm like, don't they have plows and stuff? Like, there was none of that. There was a bunch of ice. Like, I guess people over there at the time, this was like early 2000s. It was like what, 2001 or 2? Um, when this thing happened, and I remember being just so shocked. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I came from feet, like feet, many feet of snow. But anyways, I loved the winters over there. I didn't even own jackets, just hoodies. So I didn't have to worry about shoveling or anything there. And then when I got out of the military and I moved to New York, when I was going to college, I stayed in like a few different apartments because, I was a gypsy. I like to move around and try different things. And new scenery or whatever. So when I was staying in apartments, shoveling wasn't my responsibility. The landlord took care of it, whether they did it themselves or they hired somebody to come do it. I didn't have to worry about shoveling really. Um, and I didn't know how to drive in snow. I was never taught that. Um, like I remember one night I was coming down what they called it College Hill for like what a lame term because it was a hill like by the that went up to the college, like whatever. That's was such a lame name, College Hill. But like it was this huge hill, and walking it took forever. But I was coming down, and in the winter at night, oh my God, it was scary because like the ice, and there's just a ditch off to the side and it's winding and you're just going down. And anyways, so I was like had this guy in my car with me. I remember I was getting off of work at like midnight. I was working at like the game room at the community college, and he spent a lot of time there. Like, we would play pool together a lot. We were into like the same music and stuff. So, and he lived near me. So I was giving him a ride home and I slid off into the ditch. It was just this slow little slide. And I wasn't even all the way in the ditch. It was just like one tire, but I was stuck in the snow. And in the trunk, I had like this baby shovel, like in case of emergency shovel. And I'm like, why are these so fucking small? It's a child shovel, basically. And I was like, so he was like, don't worry, I got it. He's like, what'd you say? You had a shovel in your trunk? And I'm like, yep. And when I showed it to him, he was like, this little thing. Anyways, I'm giving you details that don't matter. So I made him like shovel. I didn't make him, but he shoveled us out. And I was like, thank you. Because if I were by myself, that would be so sad that I would have to do that work. And then, but anyways, I don't know why I said that story. And then when we moved here, where we currently live, like many years ago, I was obsessed all of a sudden with shoveling. And I know part of that was because we were renting from Janice, like we were renting her house. And this technically was not our house. So there was nothing said about shoveling when we moved in and talked about like stuff about moving in. Oh my God. She never mentioned anything about shoveling or that she had somebody that did it. So Alicia and I just took it upon ourselves. And then as the years went on and we moved up in the workforce, we got more money. Um, and then well, I was gonna say then we got a snowblower, but actually that's not how we got that snowblower. The snowblower that we currently have was like from my parents. Oh my God, it's so old. It's like gotta be what, 13, 14 years old? But it works brand new because Alicia takes care of stuff. I don't. So it's because of her. But I remember my parents had gotten a bigger one and like gave us that one. So the first like 3, 4 years of me going no contact with my parents, and I would see Alicia bring out that snowblower every year. I'm like, oh my God, fuck this thing, fuck this thing. But I'm used to it now. But anyways, um, Alicia loved to snowblow, and I was obsessed with shoveling. I don't know, it was just fun for me all of a sudden. And so we would be those people that would go around the neighborhood, just our street. Um, in certain houses, like older people, people that we knew didn't have the ability to shovel or couldn't afford to hire somebody, like we would just do that and just to help out. Um, anyways, and then so I guess it was a special interest. I don't know, that's weird. And then when I started working from home, well, before that, sorry, this will probably be a bit of a longer episode, but you can tell time. Hopefully, I won't make it go that long. But when I was working, like, uh, my storytelling really just jumps all over the place. This is why I can't write long things because I forget what I've said. Like, I don't know how people write huge books or like anything more than a few chapters because, like, I would forget. Did I say that? Did I say that? So I know I'm jumping around, but like, about the snow and my relationship with it, because that's initially what I was talking about. I was in college, and for after I finished community college, I attended community college for a third year because I wanted to do the corrections program and learn about that. But I also started the third year of my degree program, like in Albany for criminal justice. So, and I lived like an hour away, and I had a little Dodge Neon that had a tiny little gas tank, and so every fucking day I would have to fill that car up. Um, like it was ridiculous, gas guzzler, but um anyways, that would get me back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was like all I lived in my car for like the last 2 years of college because it was a bunch of driving and going here and going there. And then I forgot what had happened with my car where it was like maybe it got into I don't know, needed to get fixed or something like that. So I needed a car in the meantime because I needed a way to get to Albany to get to college. Because I was doing this all on my own. And so I went to this car rental place, and I remember look at me like doing this on my own and not, even though I had a lot of anxiety because that's a whole nother episode, but I went to this car rental place and my dumbass, like, fuck man, just, I was so bad. I didn't do any researching about places. I don't think that that was a huge thing with the internet. Well, anyways, that's nothing to do with the story. So, like, I go to this place, I'm by myself. I end up getting this fucking minivan, that has, like, just regular old tires, no snow tires, nothing to help drive in the snow. I didn't think to ask about that. Um, I might have had a thought, but then, like, it's snow. There's tons of snow right outside the window. Like, if somebody's gonna rent you a car, like, I would assume that the tires on the car are meant to drive in the snow. Boy, did I make a bad assumption. Oh my God. So, like, I'm in this fucking minivan that I don't know how to drive properly. And I get down to college that day. And then all of a sudden the storm moves in. Um, and it's like blizzard time. And so, like, when I went to college, there was like the main campus with different buildings depending on like what you were majoring in, and then there was like the School of Criminal Justice portion where you had to drive like 10 minutes away to another part to go there. And so, like, a couple times a week, that would be the end of my day, was going down to the criminal justice school and finishing out some of my classes there. So, like, I remember getting there, like, from the main part to the criminal justice part. It was so scary. The driving, oh my God, is just, it's busy enough as it was, because Albany is pretty popular, but in the college, but like during the storm, it was not fun. Then I'm sitting in like the parking lot waiting to go inside for class, and I'm debating, like, do I stay? Do I just go to class and like hope that it doesn't get that much worse? But then, like, I was hearing, seeing stuff about, like, no, like, it was gonna get worse. So I just was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna go to class, even though I'm here. I'm just gonna make it home. So, like, I'm on the highway and drifting. Just, it was so scary. I had to go like maybe 35 miles an hour at tops because I had bald fucking tires. They weren't even like regular tires. Oh no, they were baldies, man. They were like on their last shreds. And I don't want to relive that. It was the longest and scariest drive of my entire life in a fucking bald tired minivan trying to make it back. So that wasn't a good experience. And anyways, so when I left the workforce and I started working from home, I would freak out every winter. Like, I would freak out when I would wake up to sounds of snowblowers, because I'm like, "Oh my God, I got to get out there. I got to start shoveling, cuz we have a snowblower, but like I don't like to use those. I prefer shoveling." Um I've talked about that before. It's just easy for me to shovel. But like I would freak out because I'll be like, "Oh my God, everybody's outside like doing the snow, and so I need to go out there too." I was like worried people would think I was lazy. Like, I was very worried about what people would think, like, more than usual. And because, like, I remember this one time it was that's neither here nor there. But anyways, that was my life for like years. And suddenly this year, I guess it's not going to be an issue because I woke up earlier to the sounds of snowblowers, and I peeked out the window. I was like, God, no, because that means I'm going to have to do work because Alicia's at work and I'm home. And so I hear these snowblowers and I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't feel the urge to go. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, if I'm the last one on the street to shovel out, or, I don't care anymore. I just realized like a couple of hours ago. All of this to just say I don't care anymore what people think. Like, I don't like being perceived. Like, that'll never stop. Like, I don't want people watching me, but I can't do anything about that. But, yeah, I just, what I'm gonna do is, we got this like shovel where it's just very easy to just push it with two hands. Like, right in front of me, I just push the snow. I go back and forth just pushing it. It's like, I don't know how to describe the shovel, but it's easy. And I prefer to shovel. And so an hour before Alicia gets home, I'll go out there and I'll shovel. And that's that. Because I am not going out several damn times, like once an hour when it gets really bad to shovel and keep up with it. Like, I'm tired of doing that shit. I'm tired of it. Um, I know people can think of what they want. Like, I'll go out and do the fucking snow when I feel like it. Now I'm wondering, like, why did I get on here to talk about that? Because I don't really have a whole lot to say about this part. Um, Except I guess like that's a good change, right? I think it's a good change to not care. Like, I'm not like rushing out. Like, I don't know. My brain. Sorry. What time is it? Oh, half an hour. Okay, then not too bad. I don't know most of what I said. I know I talked a lot about snow and stuff, but like I like snow if I can look at it from the window of the house and not have to really go outside unless it's going from the house or just a building in general to an already warmed up car. Because, like once they came out with car starters, woof! I fucking love car starters, um, especially during winter. I love them so much. Don't have to go outside and scrape and do all that bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. I woke up and I was just like, heard the snow blowers, and then I waited for it and I waited for it. And I was like, where is the disgust? Of like, ugh, all the motherfuckers are out there shoveling and snow blowing, and I need to go out there and do it too. Like, can't believe my way of thinking. Like, so ridiculous now that I was so worried about dumb stuff like that when it doesn't really matter. Like, people do their own thing. Like, nobody cares when I go out and shovel, to my knowledge. But, like, really, nobody gives a fuck. Just me. It was just me. And so like when that feeling of disgust didn't come, or like, wave of anxiety, no like urge to, oh my God, I gotta get up. Like, do I shovel before coffee, after coffee? Like, none of that. I was like, why? And then like I'm just laying there like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is a good thing. Should I be happy that I don't feel those things? So does this mean I'm okay with like doing this now? Like, am I really? Like, it's weird when, like, I sense a positive change, but then, like, I'm suspicious. Like, is this a positive change? Let me dissect it. Like, ridiculous. But also, I think it's a good change. Um, because I have stories for days about, like, days like that when I would wake up and just freak out. And, anyways, maybe I'll do another Snowscapades episode down the road. I've got like a two or three storescapade episodes. Um, so I thought I would call this one Snowscapade because my brain is just booting up. But I wanted to get this out about uh that tiny little change that I made in my thinking about just fucking shoveling. And I realize I'm privileged. Like, I don't mean to sound gross or anything. Like, I realize that like I'm privileged that I get to like just wake up when I want to. And that like I'm working from home, and I'm very grateful that my wife goes out and like works, has to trudge through the snow. Like, I used to hate like waking up in the morning and budgeting my time. Like, okay, did it snow? Like, do I need to shovel? Before I had a car starter, like, okay, like scraping my car off and then like driving like 35 minutes to work turned into like an hour and 5 minutes, because like of the snow. And then is it going to be dark or light out when I drive? Because that's going to add more time. So, like, winters were just so frustrating for me, and I just stuffed it all down until like the last year or two. It was getting harder for me to like drive such long distances and like blizzards and stuff. Um, like it was getting harder because I guess that's what happens when you get older and you keep like pretending that things don't bother you, and I guess deep down they do, and you're not aware of it yet. But I hated that. Um, Jeez, and like, but that I liked it. Well, that's neither here nor there. Anyways, that's all I had to say about that. If anybody can relate, please let me know. That would be very lovely. And uh, I gotta go finish coffee. Okay. Thanks for listening. Bye.